All right, so today we're going to be looking at a gizmo called magnetic induction. And this one here, essentially what you have is you're going to have a battery. So here's my batteries I'm using here. And so you have a battery running through a piece of wood, like a table. And so you have a wire that's going from the top out to the bottom of a battery. And then we have, this basically kind of what it's looking like here. The idea here is that when electricity passes moves through space or an area, that it can produce what's called an electric field. What an electric field can also be measured as a magnetic field. So I'm going to ask you guys to do today is kind of just randomly place some magnets around on this table, and then I'm going to ask you to play around a little bit with the amperage of this wire and kind of see what happens. One thing I do recommend to kind of really kind of see a little bit about what's going on is put one of those magnets right underneath the wire. So it would be like right here on the table. And that way you can kind of really see what's happening as well. So we have a current. The current can be a positive or negative amps, and amps is basically a description of how much electricity is flowing through a wire. Okay, now voltage. So for example here, let's just say I have probably a 1.5 volt battery, like a AA or AAA battery. Voltage is how much power is coming out of the battery or of that. Okay, so for example, a 9 volt battery has a lot more power than a 1.5 volt battery. But essentially, you can line up a bunch of 1.5 volt batteries together to add up to a 9 volt battery. And that's essentially just how bigger batteries are made. Is that a lot of them are just made of littler batteries inside of them. Don't open up batteries; it's very dangerous to do on there, especially chemical batteries. So for example, so we have this current here, and know that it is negative current, which means that it is going from positive to the negative in this situation. In this situation here, we have flipped the current around and is now going up through the wood instead of there. So over here we have our amps, and again, notice that when I change my my current, what is happening to the magnetic field or the electric field around that wire. Okay, so notice that we have all these little magnetic compasses going there, and they are changing, right? So today's activity, you're going to investigate the magnetic induction. Really, there's not a whole lot you can do here on this one. You can also show the grid, like where they're located. So, for example, I put that one right on the y-axis, put this one right on the x-axis on there. And then, I could kind of do the same thing here and kind of see what is happening when I change the current or the amperage. All right, have fun, play around with it.